So hello, sixth graders. We are cruising to our next article. This should be the first read of the article. I'm going to share my screen and go over a few things for the lesson before I get started. Well. Super great, Vera. Thanks for asking. Okay, so I'm not going to go into presentation mode once again. It's just easier for me when I'm just doing the video. So for the first read, comprehension as well. Learning targets, I can read to enhance my reading skills, all levels. I can read a high interest nonfiction text. I can complete the reading comprehension check 1. That'll be a separate video. So for right now, the next slide that you see as you're going through, which is kind of where you are now because you're clicking the video. Before I read, there was one of two ways. If I did it correct, I did, yay. If you click on the picture right here, it should open the article as well. It's in the snapshot, so you can download it from there, but this gives you another avenue to pop it up as soon as we get started, okay? So I'm actually gonna open this, make this a smidge bigger, and I'll get going with the story. Okay, so although, it's like the grizzly bear. So alone across the Atlantic. Okay, now remember, we'll do a lot of close readings with this. So this should be your first read. Deborah Veal liked a challenge, and this certainly would be a challenge. She and her husband, Andrew, had agreed to enter the Ward Evans Atlantic Rowing Challenge. This race is held every 4 years. The goal is simple: to row all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. The race is a test of strength and will. In fact, is one of the toughest races in the world. Each team consists of 2 people on a 24-foot boat. The boats have no sails. They have no motors. All they have is oars and a small cabin. The 2 rowers take turns. One person rows while the other rests. If all goes well, they do this for 6 weeks. I'm just saying, 6 weeks. They cover about 3,000 miles, and with any luck, they live to tell about it. Of the 2 Veals, Andrew was by far the stronger. He was 6 feet, 5 inches tall. Deborah was just 5 feet, 5 inches tall. Also, Deborah had been rowing only a year. Andrew was a famous rower, so everyone thought Andrew would lead the team, but it didn't turn out that way. Oh, I want to read the caption. Deborah Veal raises an oar in Barbados at the end of the Ward Evans Atlantic Rowing Challenge. So that was her right there. The race began on October 7th, 2001. Things went badly for the Veals almost from the start. Andrew suddenly developed a fear of the open sea. Not good when you're crossing the Atlantic. He tried to overcome his fear, but each day it grew stronger. He couldn't help it. No matter how hard he tried, he became more and more afraid. On the 8th day, Deborah finished her turn at the oars. It was time for Andrew to row. Deborah poked her head into the cabin to wake him up. I was shocked at what I saw. She said, Andrew was curled up in a ball on the floor. He was groaning as if in pain. My leg went off at the roof. He couldn't even talk. He was consumed by fear. A few hours later, Andrew sadly said, I can't go on. Deborah agreed. It was the right decision, she said later. We had to get him off the boat. 5 days later, Andrew was taken away on a rescue boat, but Deborah didn't go with him. She wanted to finish the race. Hey, girl. She wanted to keep rowing, even if she had to do it alone. At first, Andrew tried to talk her out of it. After all, there was 2,650 miles to go. Who would watch for big ships while she slept? What if a storm came and washed her over the side? But her mind was made up. At last, even Andrew agreed. Deborah was happy. She was happy that her husband was safe, and she was happy about the challenge she was facing. Still, she knew she was taking a big risk. As the boat with Andrew faded from view, one thought troubled her. I might never see him again. All alone now, Deborah began to row. It was slow going. She had no partner to take over when she got tired. Her fingers grew stiff from gripping the oars so long and so hard. The sun beat down on her. Wind and waves tossed her boat like a toy. The salt spray caused sores to form on her skin. Deborah wrote in her diary, I feel so worn down. I feel so trapped because I know I can't give up. The worst part was being alone. Week after week, Deborah saw no one. At times, she couldn't stand it. One day, she sat and cried for 3 hours. Deborah also faced threats from the sea itself. One night, a shark circled her boat. The shark was only chasing fish, but Deborah thought it might attack the boat. She had seen enough shark movies to think the worst. Deborah said that she hid in the cabin very scared. Deborah could sleep for only a few minutes at a time. She had to be on watch for huge ships. One of them could smash her small boat, and the ship's crew might not even notice it. But one day she stopped watching for a while. She began to clean her boat. She had to. It was a mess. She had thrown some old food over the side, but the wind had blown it back. The food was all over the boat. As Deborah cleaned it up, she took her eyes off the sea. She didn't see a big ship moving close. It barely missed her. Deborah wrote, I am at an all-time low. I'm so scared and I want to go home. Even so, she kept rowing. And she did have some good days. These helped to boost her spirits. She enjoyed watching the sunset. Riding up and down big waves made her smile, and she loved making friends with the sea turtles that swam near her boat. At last, on January 26, 2002, Deborah Veal reached land. She had been at sea 3.5 months. In that time, she had rowed all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. She had started in Tenerife on the Canary Islands near the coast of Spain. She had landed in Barbados in the west of Indies. Andrew was at the finish line to greet her. He was proud of his wife. Let me stop sharing real quick. Let me stop sharing. Just wanted to pause a little. Share screen one. We should be good. Tenerife on the Canary Islands near the coast of Spain. She had landed in Barbados in the West Indies. Andrew was at the finish line to greet her. He was proud of his wife. She was happy to see him healthy again. The winning crew had finished 70 days ahead of Deborah, but she didn't care. As she stepped onto land, Deborah knew that she too was a winner. Okay, so let me stop sharing.